you talked a little bit about like the changing body politic, and I'm wondering, given that the court has become so much more conservative in recent years, what does that mean for how lawyers, organizers, and activists advance their social change agenda through the legal system?
We need to look elsewhere besides the Supreme Court. I wrote a book that came out this fall on the Supreme Court and police. And in the last chapter, I talk about we can't rely on the Supreme Court to reform policing in the United States. So we have to look elsewhere. I said we need to look to Congress. The House of Representatives has last year and this year passed a bill that would really matter with regard to policing, the George Floyd Police Reform Act. Unfortunately, it's stalled in the Senate. We need to look to state legislatures to act. California has adopted some important laws reforming policing, laws supported by the ACLU. Cities can adopt ordinances that reform policing. Some cities have prohibited police from using the chokehold, what killed George Floyd and Eric Garner. So I give the example of policing, but I think generally what we need to do is look more to Congress and state legislatures and city councils. We need to look to state Supreme Courts to use state constitutions. State constitutions can protect more rights than the federal Constitution. And so in areas where the Supreme Court isn't protecting rights, we need to turn to the states. As an example, the Supreme Court said disparities in school funding don't violate equal protection of the US Constitution. But many states have said disparity in school funding violates state constitutions. There are many places where the Supreme Court has said certain police behavior doesn't violate the US Constitution, but state Supreme Courts said it violates state constitutions. Also, we need to pressure executive officials to use existing laws to protect civil rights and civil liberties. As an example, there's a federal statute, 42 United States Code section 14141, that lets the Justice Department sue local police departments when there's a pattern and practice of rights violations. We need to push for that to be aggressively used. And of course, with regard to the Supreme Court, what it means is progressives need to learn to make arguments in a way that might be received well by conservative justices. We have to make originalist arguments for progressive results when it's possible to do so.
I love you using the example of policing because I want to thank you for your support of our local legislative priority, which is to get the city of San Diego to pass Protect, preventing over-policing through equitable community treatment. And we're going to be looking at the beginning of the year, to move that through the city council. So I want to just thank you for your signing on to the letter, and we're going to continue to engage other legal scholars in that effort.